anticipated annual event in high school hoops, the McDonald's All-American Game.
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win!
81-point game. You have witnessed the second greatest scoring performance in NBA history.
LeBron James captures that elusive title he so desperately coveted.
Williams scores. Parker! Oh my goodness! From Chicago's United Center, this is the 2013 McDonald's High School All-American Game. The top high school players in the nation have gathered East versus West. But first we flash back to some McDonald's memories. And yes, Jalen Rose in 1991, the Fab Five. Four of them here for the McDonald's High School All-American Game, including Jalen. Nice follow there from Jalen Rose. And then in 1999, Jay Williams, before the Duke career began, he was dunking it down in the McDonald's All-American Game. No footage of me, thankfully. I'm Carter Blackburn. Quinn Kesnick joins us in a moment. Guys, what did you get out of not only the game, but the whole week around the McDonald's High School experience?
Well, I think first off, the Ronald McDonald House, the visit to that and seeing the little kids, it really put things into perspective. And then also on the court, you get a chance to compete against the best of the best. For me, today's a great day. This is homecoming for me and my bet.
Yes, indeed.
This is my bet. You know what I mean? I was a rookie when I first came into the league. Yes, sir.
I was excited to get to know my teammates that I was playing in the McDonald's game with. Chris Webber, we played AAU growing up. Jawan Howard, I knew him from high school. I was getting to know Jimmy King. We hadn't met Ray Jackson yet. He didn't make it to the McDonald's game. So just that camaraderie, being here with those guys, feeling like we were going to do something special, playing against and with the best players in America.
I have a question. Wait, how is your hairline the same? I mean, mine is just, yeah, okay, anyway.
I like that part I was rocking. And you see I didn't cut the video, by the way. Why they show me shoot a brick like that?
You had to follow our one-on-one for the 2013 game. The two top-rated players in the class, beginning with Andrew Wiggins.
I didn't say this, but I heard a scout say this about Mr. Wiggins. Probably maybe the most hyped prospect to come into the draft, maybe, if he decides to leave after next year, since LeBron James. This kid is 6'6", 6'7", a 6'11" wingspan. He has unparalleled athleticism and great skill around the rim.
The hometown kid, Jabari Parker. He could do it all out there on the floor. And the thing I like, Jay, is that he's a winner. There are a lot of top players, and then you look at their team and their record, and they're poor teams. He's won 4 straight state championships. Do a base in the basket, do it over the top. He has the size to post up. He's going to be a terrific player at Duke.
Jabari Parker is going to Duke. Andrew Wiggins has yet to make his decision, but both are with Quinn Kesnick.
Thanks. Andrew, what type of emotions are you dealing with tonight?
All types of crazy emotions. I'm just happy to be here, happy to play with all these fans. I'm happy my family made it out. So I'm going to have a fun time and enjoy my time here.
Jabari, you come out of the locker room and the fans give you a great ovation. What should they expect to see?
They expect to see a good game. You know, it's very competitive, a balanced team, both East and West, and, you know, hopefully we can pull out a W.
Carter, back to you.
We will get to know the rest of the McDonald's High School All-Americans and have our opening tip from Chicago next.
Head & Shoulders and Old Spice are now together in one bottle.
So we're fighting flakes
while smelling handsome.
And with a double dose of confidence like that.
Good heavens.
Head & Shoulders with Old Spice.
It's your pool. It's your playground. Take it to the max with Lotto Max. This Friday's jackpot is an estimated $40 million.
Excel is a proud sponsor of Hockey Canada.
All right, everyone, positions. She's almost here.
What the heck is going on?
With our advice, you can be mortgage-free faster and easier than you thought possible. Own a home, not a mortgage. Ask us how. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
Introducing new whole bean coffees from Nabob.
At the United Center, home of the Chicago Bulls, home of the 2013 McDonald's High School All-American game. Let's meet these starting lineups first for the East All-Stars. Casey Hill, who's headed to Florida. Wayne Selden, number 12 in his class, headed to Kansas. Andrew Wiggins, the number 1 recruit in the class of 2013, yet to make his decision. Julius Randle and Dakari Johnson. And, of course, there will be a lot of tremendous players coming off the bench, including Noah Vonleh, who is committed to Indiana out of Haverhill, Massachusetts. For the West All-Stars, the Harrison twins, Andrew and Aaron. Jabari Parker, the Chicago native, with Bobby Portis, who's headed to Arkansas, and Aaron Gordon, who made his decision yesterday to attend the University of Arizona. And among the players coming off the bench will be Matt Jones, with a nice shooting touch, headed to Duke. Who? Matt Jones. Not Mike. There are a lot of Kentucky Wildcats in this basketball game, guys.
I felt like during the intros, every other name was a Kentucky Wildcat.
6 McDonald's All-Americans, 4 of the top-rated players by ESPN are headed to Kentucky, and yet it's Aaron Gordon, the Arizona commit, with the first bucket.
You know, last night at the banquet, we got a chance to hear Stephen A. Smith speak, and he said something that really stood out. He said, every year there's only one champion. There's only one champion. So it's cool to be friends with all these guys off the court. But when you step your foot across that line tomorrow night at the United Center, you are in battle. You are in war. Prove to me that you belong.
First time Wiggins and Parker match up, Parker gets a block.
He does, and the key to any game like this is to try to get a layup, try to get a dunk, get yourself going, like you see right here. Good penetration and kick. Now all of a sudden that jump shot feels a lot better.
Andrew Harrison throws the lob, dunked down by Aaron Harrison. Those are the twins from Richmond, Texas.
We're going to be seeing a lot of that in the next couple of years. Well, maybe I should retract that statement. Maybe next year. But these two have such a comfort level in playing together. They really work well off each other, and just great reads. And they're both dual guards. They can play either position. Both have the ability to shoot the ball lights out.
Jabari Parker has a big-time block. Let's go back to the lob.
How cool would it be to be able to play at a high level with your brother? You know, a lot of times we talk about chemistry and teamwork and being family. There's an unwritten rule that these guys have when they come up to court, that they know what each other's thinking before the defense and before each other sometimes. So that has to be special, and that dynamic really helped them in high school.
How cool would it be to see if we saw somebody play some defense? We saw Casey Hill with some ball pressure. Maybe you don't get that live.
Now, Jabari Parker's got 2 blocks already for the West All-Stars. This is Aaron Harrison kicking it back out to his twin brother, Andrew.
Newsflash for anyone that wants to score, just set a screen.
There you go.
That's all you have to do. You create an action, you create a help situation, and then a lot of times the screener is the person that's open.
And here's the thing, too, J. Rose. We forget that these guys are in high school. That big isn't talking on any screen coming up, right? That's a blindside screen. You're going to get a wide-open J.
Fight for the loose ball, and it will come back to the East All-Stars. So it's the East All-Stars in red, the West All-Stars mostly in the gray and black unis.
And also just adjusting the terminology. Little things like you're playing defense on the ball. When your help side guy says screen left, that means over your left shoulder. Things of that nature. Those are the kind of things they're going to learn next year in college if they haven't already learned it in high school. But those intricacies of the game really will help you communicate on the defensive end and be competitive.
Wiggins with a give and go, finished off by Dakari Johnson, who is headed to Kentucky.
Can only imagine Dakari Johnson and Willie Cauley-Stein playing down low next year for the Wildcats. Now, Archie Goodwin decided to leave. Alex Poitras comes back. with him, Kyle Wilcher, James Young, Marcus Lee, there's a lot of these 3-4 guards that the Wildcats will have next year.
Wiggins dunks it down. First 2 of the game for Andrew Wiggins.
Maybe the 7th commit to Kentucky, potentially, Andrew Wiggins.
The John Calipari Invitational. Wow. Pretty much. And imagine, he already has 4 McDonald's All-Americans. You just mentioned 1 that left. So 3 returning, potentially, on the roster. So now he's built depth. What a way to attack the basket. Hard foul. Go to the line to make 2.
That's Wayne Selden Jr., who's headed to Kansas, attacking the rim.
Ben McLemore probably leaves, becomes a top 5 pick. Wayne Selden comes in, picks up the slack right away. I mean, just a very multi-dimensional player, can shoot the ball extremely well, and also has the ability with that frame, 6'6", 6'7", Jay, 225 pounds. He could be a lockdown defender, similar to like a pit bull.
And I feel a lot of sympathy for Ben McLemore in the situation with poverty. They talked about it during the telecast, during his last game. So looking at NBA projections, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't enter in the draft.
Wayne Selden told us the other day, I want to grow into a lockdown defender at Kansas along the lines of Travis Relaford. That's exactly what Bill Self wants to hear from his McDonald's All-American coming in.
Well, he needed in order for them to get 10 consecutive regular season championships. If they were able to get that, that's out of control.
Wiggins gets the steal, and this is Randall who gets fouled. Julius Randall, the number 3 rated player who is headed to Kentucky. Talked to John Calipari earlier today and asked him, all right, what's the number 1 message you have for all of these guys coming in? And Coach Calipari said, number 1, you have to play for each other, not for yourself, not even for your coaches. You have to play for one another. So that was the biggest difference between the championship team 2 years ago.
I admire players who want to play with other great players. It makes you better in games, obviously, but also in practice. And that was one of the problems Kentucky had this year. They didn't have the depth to push their best players in practice, and it showed how they ended up not making the NCAA tournament this year. And obviously, Nerlens Noel injury played a key factor in that also.
Hey, speaking of that, they're upgrading at positions, especially at the guard position. I mean, Ryan Harrell decides to leave. He transfers to Georgia State, excuse me, but you insert these Harrison twins, it's a major, major upgrade for Big Blue Nation.
Aaron Harrison to Gordon with the dunk.
I really like Aaron Harris' size, sport vision, his ability to dribble the basketball with both hands. Seems to always be under control. He's going to be a game changer from day 1.
Hey, with Julius Randle coming in, I mean, Alex Poitras, I guess what, does he come off the bench now? Alex Poitras, Kyle Wilcher, these guys who are used to starting, I mean, these guys might demand a lot more playing time. They might come off the bench.
It built depth.
Yeah, I was going to say,
that's going to be a great thing for that team.
How did the veterans on Michigan deal with that when you guys came in?
Well, it was an interesting situation because the year before we came, Jay, they were in the NIT. So
how similar, huh?
It was the jobs are more open as opposed to when you come into a team that just won a national championship like Kentucky to defend the champion.
Reverse goes down. A good finish from Bobby Portis Jr., the Arkansas Player of the Year who was headed to the Razorbacks. He committed to Arkansas early as a sophomore and stuck by that commitment.
Arkansas loses a lot with B.J. Young leaving for the draft. A lot of points. He had 27 points a couple of times this year. Averaged around 17, 18 per game.
Jabari Parker, end-to-end, can't finish. And that foul will send us to our first official timeout. Well, one of the big commitments, Aaron Gordon made his decision yesterday. He's dunking it down now. Aaron Gordon will be a Wildcat next year. We'll look back at which Wildcat he chose.
It's down to the Final Four. Wichita State continues to dazzle, and now the Shockers zone in on their biggest kill yet, the Cardinals. But Louisville is on a mission and are rallying for teammate Kevin Ware.
Louisville heads to Atlanta.
Canadian Nick Stauskas has the Wolverines firing on all cylinders. Can Syracuse's suffocating D lead them to the promised land? The Final Four, Saturday beginning at 6 on TSN2.
Use your Scotiabank debit and credit cards for everyday purchases and get rewarded with cash back. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
Hey, Tim, you know how the Jetta has laser seam welding, right?
Yeah, sure. Most of the other guys have spot welding.
So check this out. This is laser welding. Makes the car stronger.
Okay.
And this
is spot welding. Have you done this with any customers?
No.
For a limited time, own a 2013 Jetta from $98 bi-weekly for 84 months with 0 down payment.
Volkswagen, das Auto.
To serve up this much poutine, you need a lot of gravy and a lot of dishes. But which dish liquid cleans more greasy dishes?
It's Dawn. Ultra Dawn has active suds and cleans 2 times more greasy dishes than the leading non-concentrated brand.
While Dawn won the day, they weren't the only ones to clean more plates.
Dawn, from the makers of Cascade.
If you got the money, I think it would be funny.
Use your Scotiabank debit and credit cards for everyday purchases and get rewarded with cash back. Ask us how. You're richer than you think. Scotiabank.
Raps, Timberwolves, Friday at 8 on TSN2.
All 4 of these schools are absolutely great schools with great coaches, and there was no bad decision here. But with no further ado, I hope Tucson's celebrating because I'm about to be a West Coast Wildcat at the University of Arizona.
Aaron Gordon got the hat right. He's headed to Arizona. Paul Biancardi joins us now on the telephone. He's at the National High School Invitational in Bethesda, Maryland. And Paul, what does Aaron Gordon bring to the Arizona Wildcats?
Well, he dominates the game inside the arc, Carter. You know, you just can't label him into a position because he can play multiple positions. Plays the game with high energy, one of the strongest, most explosive players in the class. And what really opens your eyes about him is this kid competes with a constant effort, even when he doesn't score. He'll be one of the best finishes in the Pac-12 because he rises up quick, off the ground, and high. He has body control to avoid the defenders and the strength to dunk over opponents.
So, Paul, if he can do all of that, where is the room for improvement in Aaron Gordon's game heading into his Arizona career?
He's got to improve on his outside shooting. Anything past the high post, he struggles with the jump shot. Three-point line, he's got to work on the catch and 15 feet, and he can dominate the action. Finishing, posting up, driving to the basket. And he's a very... He could be the X factor deep into the NCAA tournament and certainly have a chance to win the Pac-12.
Paul, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll listen for you at the National High School Invitational these next few days.
Thank you, Carter.
So, guys, I noticed Aaron Gordon today during shoot-around. He was the only player who went to the free throw line and practiced his free throws, and then he asked the coaches, can I stay a little while longer on the floor and take jump shots? What does that say about Aaron Gordon?
Most of the time, young players play better when they're scoring. What is the first thing you do when you walk in the gym? You dribble the basketball or you shoot it. It's a stance. You don't go to the free throw line. That's boring. So for him to do that, it just shows his dedication that he wants to get better at the free throw line, improving parts of his game. That's the kind of quality work ethic that's really going to make his coach in college proud.
You know what I like about that? I feel like there's a sense of entitlement with some kids these days. Into the collegiate level with 35, 40+ thousand Twitter followers, and they think that they've already made it. And as Stephen A. Smith said last night, and as both Jalen and I know, this is just the beginning. This is the first step. Yeah, you're classified now as one of the elite, but guess what? Everybody you play against next year on a high collegiate level was an elite at one time.
And how about this? The players that felt like I should be in that game, and I'm watching it on TV right now. That makes them work a little harder. It puts a target on your chest, and you got to continue to work, continue to bring it, because it's not easy to compete at the college level, and everybody wants to be on this stage.
Hicks rises up. That's Isaiah Hicks.
Well, there's a Jerry West sticker on the left side of the backboard. I think with that jumper, he almost gave him a concussion.
Jerry West is being evaluated right now. We'll see if he's able to return. Nigel Williams-Goss swatted at the rim. That's Chris Walker.
Look, and Nigel Williams-Goss is a really talented player. He's going to be fabulous next year for Washington. But that's something that a lot of these young kids need to learn right now. You better incorporate a floater in your game, because when you come down in college, especially when you come down in NBA, when you're around the trees, you can't finish around the trees. You have to finish over the top of the trees.
All perimeter players that are going to be driving to the basket, you got to get that one-leg runner or that 2-foot floater. Can't out-jump the ball.
You might be able to finish through people in high school. You ain't finishing through nobody down here.
Got to get that giant killer.
And that block came from Chris Walker, who won the slam dunk competition on Monday night. Walker, who is headed to the University of Florida. Well, Vonleh gets one of the free throws.
Him and Casey Hill going to have a huge opportunity for Billy Donovan this year. Kenny Boynton leaves.
Eric Murphy and Mike Rosario as well.
Exactly. And Chris Wright. I mean, I don't know why. Why do I always know why? Because he jumps like Chris White. That's why I always say Chris White instead of Chris Walker. Well, he can jump off the charts, Chris Walker.
And he said that the perfect score dunk he had, he calls it the Skywalker, so he's ready to handle the mantle. This is Keith Frazier, who just committed yesterday to SMU, number 3 for the East All-Stars.
First McDonald's All-American ever to go to SMU.
Anthony Barber.
Excited.
And these type of games also expose whether you can dribble versus if you have a handle. And let me explain the difference. Someone that can dribble the ball, they need to dance with it. Take 3, 4, 5 dribbles to actually get into a rhythm to now shake the defender. If you got a handle, you keep it tight. Ins and outs, killer crossovers behind the back. You got to take less dribbles to be more effective, the higher level of competition.
And case in point, Vonleh gets in the paint there and draws a foul. The NIT comes to an end tomorrow on ESPN when Iowa takes on Baylor. It's the NIT championship game between the Hawkeyes and the Baylor Bears with Isaiah Austin, who was a McDonald's All-American last year. That's tomorrow, 9 Eastern on ESPN.
Carter, I got a really funny story. Also, I think
we'll be the judge of that.
Yes, you guys will. This game also, it could put you out there defensively, because sometimes you'll be left on the island, okay? So my rookie year, we're playing Sacramento. I'm trying to guard this guy named Jason Williams, a.k.a. White Chocolate. They called the same spread play 4 times down the court. Each and every time, I'm looking at Jay Rose and looking at Jamal Crawford like, help. And they're like, no, you got to guard him. Right? So you get a chance to see who really takes pride in trying to defend somebody and stop somebody in this game.
All right, pretty funny story. Yeah, we'll give it to you.
I got roasted. That's the whole point. I got roasted.
Now that we're retired, we don't have time for stuff like laundry.
We're too busy having fun.
We get everything perfectly clean by tossing one of these in the wash, and that's it.
I wanted to do that.
Oh, come on.
That's my favorite part.
Really? That's our Tide. What's yours?
Chances are, by 35, you've tortured your face with 940 hours of windburn, 7,017 pokes, 1 glass door, 63 months of baking sun, 4,021 close shaves, 599 repairs, 52 snowballs, and 3 deserved slaps. End the face torture. Use new Dove Men Plus Care Face Lotion. The non-greasy formula hydrates skin to help keep it looking good. Take better care of your face with new Dove Men Plus Care.
Our job is to make all athletes better. One great innovation at a time. I will.
I collect change. I'm saving for some more stuffed monkeys. Dad says if I could find it, I could keep it.
TD is making it easy to turn life's change. We now have free TD coin counters at over 300 branches.
My mom collects change too. This is her swear jar.
New TD coin counters, free for our personal banking customers. TD, banking can be this comfortable.
Mastering the fairway takes precision, power, and timing. Mastering the road is no different. Acura's Master the Road event is on now. Get unprecedented savings on our best-selling Acura MDX. For a limited time, save up to $10,000 on the 2013 MDX. Hurry into your Acura dealer for details.
20-13, the West All-Stars lead the East All-Stars. Time to check in with Quint Kesnick.
Joined by Jamie McMurray, NASCAR driver, former winner of the Daytona 500, the Brickyard 400. You got a nice seat, Jamie. What is your overall impression so far of these athletes?
Yeah, crazy. First off, to see how big they are. We were just talking about the talent and the size of the feet on all of the guys. But it's really cool that McDonald's let me come here and get to be a part of this. This is my second year coming and getting to watch the game. And, you know, it's really cool to see these guys that move on and make it to the NBA.
What are the parallels between being a big-time basketball player and being a guy who drives really fast?
Well, I mean, this is a team sport, and certainly NASCAR is all about, you know, being with a team. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of similarities, just a lot of hard work, a lot of effort. It's cool seeing these guys' dreams come true.
I got to ask you a tough question. I got pulled over for speeding the other day, doing 78 and a 60. I mean, that's not even moving for you. How can I avoid getting pulled over?
Well, don't speed, I think, would be the first bet. And if you get caught, I guess try to make friends with the cop.
Thanks, Jamie. Carter.
Solid advice from Jamie there.
Legendary advice. Don't speed.
Carter Blackburn, Jay Williams, Jalen Rose. Jabari Parker is checking back into the game for the West All-Stars. Scoreless so far, Jabari Parker.
Jay, let me ask you a question. What was your mentality when you came into this game?
That I wanted to show that I was the best player here. I wanted to compete in practice, compete in the game, get some camaraderie with my teammates that I was going to be playing with at Michigan, and recruit other players that were undecided. And also, Jay, even if they were decided, but they hadn't signed, still recruit them.
Doing Due Diligence by Jay Rose, his new book coming out.
Now Jabari Parker has a score. That's Julius Randle getting to the rim, and a long run out. Wiggins takes it away, and he and Parker dance along the far baseline. And Wiggins gets it back and takes the foul from Isaac Hamilton.
I think that's the next step for Jabari Parker. There's no doubt about it. He's McDonald's National Player of the Year. So talented. Reminds me a little bit of Paul Pierce, the way he plays, the way he moves. But I want to see him develop that killer mentality. This is the platform for him to dominate the best players in the country. And I still think as he grows and he continues to mature, he'll become more of an assertive basketball player.
And also, as the hometown host,
oh yeah,
a lot of times it takes a lot out of you. More interviews, more ticket requests, more people expecting you to do what Jay Williams just described. So the other players are like, you know what? You're not going to shine against me and get the crowd giving you a standing ovation. So I agree with that assessment, Jay, and it's going to be very interesting to see how that instinct continues to develop.
Well, he's going to need to develop it because you talk about Duke, they lose Ryan Kelly, they lose Mason Plumlee, and then they lose their guard and Seth Curry. These guys, I mean, that's a lot of points right there.
I just want to know two things.
Okay, ask it, because I know you've been waiting to ask it now.
Exactly.
We're about to dig deep.
One, why is your number not retired at Duke?
No, it is retired. It's retired.
Okay, then two. Here's my most important question. What number is Jabari Parker going to wear? Because I saw in the guide that he wore 22 in high school.
Well, look, I worked hard to get my jersey retired. I graduated a year early. But I'll say this, and I'll say it on the national platform. If Jabari Parker wanted to wear number 22, I would not mind him wearing it. But also, I would let him know that the level of expectation will jump up. Because then all of a sudden you're taking whoever jersey is retired, you're taking somebody's jersey down and to let somebody else wear. But times are changing though, Jay, so go back and forth with that one.
And I love you, but let me let you in on the conversation that he and Coach K probably had that they didn't tell you about.
Yes.
If you sign, you can wear any number that you want. Young fella, don't worry about it.
Jabari Parker from Chicago's Simeon and at 4 state titles. State Player of the Year, including as a junior for the first time. And Johnson finishes that off after the fair. Dakari Johnson, who is headed to Kentucky.
When you watch Andrew Wiggins run, he's like a pogo stick. I mean, he's so bouncy. No wonder he has about a 42-inch vertical at 6'7". I mean, his hops are out of control.
And how about the size and the versatility of most of these players? You look out there on the floor, the majority of the guys are 6'5", 6'6", and above. Switching screens, handling the ball, shooting. A lot of versatility.
Wayne Selden gets a friendly role. Selden, who is headed to Kansas. He's from Massachusetts. Connor Frankamp also sharpshooter who is headed to Kansas with Wayne Selden.
When you look at Wayne Selden's body, I mean, at 225 pounds, he just overpowers guards. Would do if I were him, and that's where he's going to have to make the transition as well. He'll still be able to overpower some guards on the collegiate level. He won't be able to do that as much in the NBA, but developing that mid-range, developing that long-range jump shot, that in-between game could be huge for his development.
And also, he's going to have a chance to come in potentially, as we talked about, whether McLemore leaves or not, to be their best player next year. Jeff Withey, Travis Relaford, Elijah Johnson all leaving. So it's going to be a great opportunity. And Jabari Parker gets his first.
Deuce, is that what you meant?
Now he has 4 rebounds. Yes.
I touched a nerve with that number thing, didn't I?
And then Parker takes it right at Andrew Wiggins to get a foul on Wiggins.
So elusive with the basketball. He's so shifty, his ability to change speeds. And when I was talking before, that he kind of reminds me of Paul Pierce. Calm down, Twitterverse. I'm not saying he's Paul Pierce. You guys run away with that stuff. But I think it's similar to the way they play. Their moves, at times it could look like he's coasting, but he's not. He's a stat filler.
Andrew Wiggins to the free throw line. It was Parker who fouled Wiggins. Andrew Wiggins' decision is yet to be made. Florida State is on the list because both of those terrific athletic parents, Dad Mitch and Mom Marita, both went to Florida State. Marita competed in 2 Olympics with the Canadian team. Mitch played in the NBA. Florida State is right there in the running for Andrew Wiggins. Randall, good catch and a finish.
Good hands, good anticipation by Randall. Good finish, because initially he was looking for the lob over the top.
Gordon in traffic, earns a trip to the free throw line. That's Demetrius Jackson getting it to Julius Randle.
I'll tell you this right now. Unless Alex Poitras develops some kind of just mental toughness and becomes the guy we all expected him to be this year, next year, he might as well move out of the way. Because Julius Randle, this kid has that mentality where he wants to dominate you every single possession. Whether it's in workout drills, whether it's in one-on-one stuff, whether it's in scrimmages, he tries to dominate you and overpower you each time he has the ball.
And also, we all anticipate that Kentucky's going to be the #1 ranked team in the country going into next year.
6 McDonald's All-Americans joining an already talented roster.
Just think about that. 6. There are teams that don't have any.
A lot of teams who don't have any.
Pretty much last year, John Calipari just said, hey, you know, don't worry about it, UCLA. You can ball the #1 recruiting class title for a year, but we've had it for the past 5 or 6.
How about this, Jalen? There is 1 McDonald's All-American going to a Big 12 school, Wayne Selden. There are 6 McDonald's All-Americans going to Kentucky, 4 in the top 11, with Andrew Wiggins still having Kentucky on his list.
That's what you like about the Harrison twins right there. They're 6'5", and they know how to use their strength in their upper body. They're not going to blow by you every single possession. They'll put their shoulder right in your chest, and that's enough to beat you to make a play.
Hamilton, who is going to UTEP, younger brother of Jordan Hamilton, now the Denver Nuggets.
When the big fella has position on the post, take your time, give him a wraparound pass, a nice little something soft that he can catch. Don't make him lose his position off the block. Therefore, they end up with a turnover.
But, Jay, how about this? Hey, kids don't know how to make post passes these days. And when do you see a lot of kids take mid-range jump shot? There's a lost art in basketball I think is being looked over because everybody wants to do the exciting move.
Nice bounce pass to Jabari Parker, who misses the fader. Selden. Dakari Johnson finishes.
Could have been an and one right there by DJ.
Aaron Gordon crosses over on Johnson and dunks it down.
Did Aaron Gordon just hit Dakari Johnson with the snatch? Ooh, threw the ball with his right hand, grabbed it back with his left. Can we get a replay?
Third dunk of the game for Aaron Gordon, who just made his decision yesterday to attend the University of Arizona.
And they're losing Mark Lyons, Solomon Hill. Now they could just get the officials to take the bounties off their team.
Oh, no. Aaron, you may have just secured a spot on the not top 10. But that's a way to finish it off.
So you're saying take Ed Rush out of the equation.
Correct.
Arizona's in a good space.
$5,000 in a trip to Cancun. I've been to Cancun. And I've hung out at Daddy-O's. That's a pretty good deal.
I've never been to Daddy-O's, but I need to go.
Yeah, it's been an interesting week for Sean Miller. The best part of it was when Aaron Gordon, number 4 in the class, committed to Arizona. He's had better moments than that one. You don't think when he's headed back to the bench, his teammates are going to let him know about that one. Doubleheader on NBA Friday. LeBron James and the Heat versus Kemba Walker and the Bobcats. And at 10:30, James Harden and the Rockets in the playoff hunt. On the road against the Trailblazers. NBA Friday presented by State Farm. Coverage tips off Kia NBA Countdown. 7:30 Friday on ESPN. Jay will be there.
Do you put LeBron in the same category as Michael Jordan?
No, different style of player, Jay. LeBron James was a point guard / point forward when he came into the league. The mold of a Scottie Pippen, Paul Pressey. Now he's like a power guard. Traditional shooting guard that became the greatest player of all time. So while there are a lot of comparisons as far as their effort and their work ethic and their ability to be productive, I see them as two total different players.
If you say Michael Jordan, is this fair? If you could say Michael Jordan is the best player of all time, but LeBron James is the most talented player.
LeBron James can do things on the basketball court that nobody with his size or his versatility at that size has been able to do. That's an absolute fact.
When we return to the McDonald's High School All-America game, we will talk about big will include Julius Randle next year.
To many men, shaving can be a sensitive issue. But take comfort. It may not be you. It may be your razor. Upgrade to Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. Our micro-thin blades are thinner than a surgeon's scalpel to put less stress on your skin by gliding through hair. Fusion Pro Glide. Dermatologist recommended on sensitive skin. And now, introducing new Fusion Shave Gel. Gillette, the best a man can get.
You've got enough money for one sub, but you're hungry for a massive meal. No problem. Taco Bell's Build Your Own Box Meal. 5 different items and 40 different combos for only $5. Problem solved? Thought so. Taco Bell.
At Enterprise, we're proud to be an official sponsor of the NHL.
So whether you're all about Vancouver or St. Louis or Philadelphia,
we'll get you on your way to the game you love.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Mastering the fairway takes precision, power, and timing. Mastering the road is no different. Acura's Master the Road event is on now. Get unprecedented savings on our best-selling Acura MDX. For a limited time, save up to $10,000 on the 2013 MDX. Hurry into your Acura dealer for details.
Nescafe 3-in-1. Sweet, creamy coffee. Now that makes sense.
John Calipari has some thoughts on the one-and-done rule. We'll get to that later. But in the one-and-done era, nobody has done it better. John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins, a part of that first Kentucky class. And Terrence Jones, Deron Lamb, and Brandon Knight. Anthony Davis and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist in 2011 recruiting class. Nerlens Noel last year #1 in his class. And in 2013, a bevy of All-Stars.
Wow. I mean, the rich keep getting richer. Julius Randle, stud. Andrew Harrison, stud. James Young, stud. I mean, all these guys are stud. There's even another guy they have on that's not even on the list, Derek Willis, who's another guy who's around 6'6", 6'7", who can shoot the ball. So the problem now is, okay, all these guys are coming in. Can everybody be happy with the amount of playing time?
You have 6 McDonald's All-Americans coming in. You have at least 3 on next year's roster. That's terrific depth. And now, what a lob on the out-of-bounds play.
Wasting no time out of the break. But talking about that Kentucky class, as Barber crosses over, nice move there. He's headed to NC State. One of the things John Calipari said, all right, look at the Miami Heat. That first year where they all came together, didn't work, took them a while. We're asking even more of these young players to come together, and they have about 6 months. He tells them when they first get on campus, this will be the hardest undertaking you have in your basketball career.
And Coach Cal likes to remind his players that Anthony Davis and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist went #1 and 2 in the draft. Well, that year on their team that they won a national championship, as Bird knocks down the 3, they were 4th and 5th on the team in shot attempts. So that kind of sacrifice is what he's going to talk to these young men about.
You know, I have to say this too. Ryan Harrell did not fit into the lineage of point guards that came to Kentucky beforehand. I mean, now when you get the Harrison twins, that takes you back up to that kind of elk. You know what I mean? That puts you back in the conversation, Brandon Knight, John Wall, guys like that. But these Harrison twins can take your game to a whole different level. And they can pass the ball to make sure that everybody's happy with their shot attempts.
Andrew Harrison, the #1 rated point guard in this class, #5 overall. His twin brother Aaron Harrison, #7 in the class. They're both going to Kentucky. This is Chris Walker, a 6'10" player who won the dunk contest, misses from 3. Bird throws it away.
You got to get to the free throw line, jump stop. If you can't go all the way in there, give him a nice bouncer chest pass that he's looking at or lob over the top. That was a low percentage bounce pass right there.
Here's the thing, too. It takes some time getting acclimated to play with guys who are high risers. You know, when you're coming from high school, you're probably throwing a bounce pass. You're throwing a chest pass. Now when you're running down the court and you got a guy like Andre Wiggins on your team or any of these guys, you're able to throw the ball at the rim and they can go get it.
That's James Young finishing. He is headed to Kentucky as well.
Or, Jay, to your point, you're the McDonald's All-American that your teammates are throwing the lobs to.
Yeah.
How about this week of practice when you get a time to play with your future teammates, like Jalen with you, your Fab Five group who was here together with the McDonald's High School All-American game?
First up, can I say something? How great is this? You got a Duke guy, you got a Michigan guy doing a broadcast together.
And I'm just lobbing it to the rim.
And we're cool with it.
I know, that's right. I'm pretty sure Twitter's blowing up because of it. But it's a camaraderie. It's a level of comfort that you know that you're going to be with these guys the next couple of years. You're trying to get familiar with them, understand their likes and dislikes, but more importantly, leave your ego, because we got to all sacrifice for one another. And the difference between what we're talking about with Kentucky is they just signed 6 McDonald's All-American, but they're not going to start 5 freshmen. So they have other players that are still on the roster, Willie Cauley-Stein, as well as Nerlens Noel, if he's able to come back, if he decides to come back, and from his injury, that are still going to get quality minutes.
Jay, be real. Did you guys all let your egos down? Be real on that.
Yes, we had to. No doubt about it. And the great thing about being a part of that situation, Jay, and any good team, you know this. When you're on a good team, you can say whatever you want to say to a guy, and he doesn't take it personally. But when you're on a bad team, you even look at a guy in front of your face, he's already got a response. Hey, you didn't help me on D. Well, you didn't help me last time. Well, that was a bad shot. Well, you just took 2 bad shots. Now, when you're playing on a good team, it's my bad. It's the accountability is different.
43-36, the West All-Stars leading the East All-Stars. We'll discuss more what's expected on these McDonald's All-Americans at college level next.
Legendary Augusta National. Golf's elite return for the year's first major. In search of another opportunity to wear the iconic green jacket. Don't miss a moment with your choice of extended coverage on tsn.ca, plus exclusive live feeds from the TSN Masters app for iPhone and iPad. Our coverage begins with the Par 3 contest. The Masters starts April 10th on TSN. Presented by Cisco.
Want to add something shiny to a truck that's all about getting the job done? How about chrome assist steps, chrome door handles, and chrome mirror caps that reflect the pride of any job site? Chevrolet's Own Some Chrome event, where you can get a $1,000 chrome package on a new 2013 Silverado at no extra charge. And up to $9,000 in cash credits. We know how much you love chrome, especially when it's covered in hard work. Own some chrome today.
I collect change. I'm saving for some more stuffed monkeys. Dad says if I could find it, I could keep it.
TD is making it easy to turn life's change into something better. We now have free TD coin counters at over 300 branches.
My mom collects change too. This is her swear jar.
New TD coin counters, free for our personal banking customers. TD, banking can be this comfortable.
After a night out with your friends, there's always options for getting home safely. You could call your BFF, your mom, or whoever you can count on for a safe ride home. You could call your favorite cab company, or maybe you'll grab the last bus. Now there's a smartphone app to help you choose your ride. Be it a friend, transit, or taxi, getting home safely is app easy.
Visit arrivealive.org to find out more. Arrive Alive, drive sober.
No doubt who was the best player in 2006. That was Mr. Bryant, Mr. Kobe Bryant. The #1 player in 2013 is Andrew Wiggins. Now, because of the one-year mandatory college decision, that means Andrew Wiggins has a decision to make. Florida State, Kansas, Kentucky, or North Carolina. By nature, Andrew Wiggins is a shyer type guy. He doesn't seek the spotlight. So that presents part of the dilemma of this decision, which he has yet to make.
Well, this is the session that Jay Rose and I like to call Real Talk. What do you do here if you're Andrew Wiggins, okay? If you go to Florida State, you have to be the guy. If you go to North Carolina, even though they have P.J. Harrison, if he stays, you have to be the guy. If you go to Kansas, after all they lose, you have to be the guy. So the bar gets set very high. I don't know if you're going to be the #1 draft pick if you're not dropping 25, 30 points per night and dominating every single possession. But if you go to a school like Kentucky, and maybe you average 9, 10 points, 12 points, you can hide a little bit of some of those deficiencies because you're playing with a ton of other great players. You know what I mean? You might be able to hide some of that stuff, which could actually help his draft status. Jay, is that making any sense here?
Absolutely. Your responsibility and your role changes based on the school that you choose. And when you're the #1 player in the country, as you mentioned, those expectations are going to be there for him to come in, be productive, and possibly be in the draft this time next year. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he decides.
Now, look, I'm not trying to build a campaign for him to go to Kentucky, okay? He can go. All those are great schools. Leonard Hamilton, you and I, we spoke about him before with Leonard, and he's great. Kansas is great. North Carolina is great. It's just sometimes you wonder, these players, they want that spotlight. They want to be the guy, but can they handle that pressure every single night of being that guy, being the main focal point of the scouting report each and every evening?
And also, Jay, these situations have gotten so special when you already have 3 McDonald's All-Americans, 6 have committed to come next year, when maybe too much is too much. And if you're the #1 player, you probably decide, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else. It's only 40 minutes in the game. So if he picks one of those other schools besides Kentucky, he's probably going to play close to 40 minutes. If he goes to Kentucky, he's going to play, what, 28, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And
33 minutes.
Here's another factor for Andrew Wiggins. His AAU and high school teammate Xavier Radon-Mays, who's a great shooter, is already committed to Florida State. So there's a few things pointing that way, including both of his parents' Seminoles. But Florida State, Kentucky, Kansas, not bad options for Andrew Wiggins in North Carolina.
Jabari Parker, 2 shots.
Jabari Parker at the free throw line. We will hear from Jabari in his own words in our halftime feature, including when he talks about how he started winning and how much he loved winning. Also, the boys' Ronald McDonald House visit. Jabari Parker, 4 straight state titles at Simeon High School, and he is headed to Duke, the Morgan Wooden National Player of the Year. And everyone around Jabari Parker talks about the complete package: character, grades, commitment to getting better on the floor.
Basketball is the ultimate team game, but it can definitely be influenced and dominated by one player. So for me, if you're a McDonald's All-American, your team should be competing for the city and state championship every year. That shouldn't be too much to ask for one of the top players in America that's going to compete in a game like this. So that's a special stat for Jabari Parker to win 4 straight state championships.
You know what else is very impressive about him? It's hard to be the guy. Whoa.
That's Demetrius Jackson.
Throw it up top. It's hard to be the guy at a young age, like Jabari was, and still stay hungry. So I think that we all should give him a lot of credit for continuing to work on this game every single day to be better, because it's easy to become very complacent.
And Jabari Parker had to bounce back, had a broken bone in his right foot, subsequent weight gain. That was at the beginning of his senior year. Came back maybe a little too soon, then got in shape and got ready. And is in good shape now, although he's 1 for 7 shooting in this game.
And that's what blows my mind when I watch Andrew Harrison play. He just had a little change of speed right there, a little change of speed, and that's what a guard should do. Change of speed off the high screen.
Gordon with his 5th dunk of the game. That'll make up for the one he missed earlier, the little double pump reverse.
But when you're trying to take it through your legs in the game and you miss it, I'm not going to tease you because I can't jump over a phone book, so it was a great miss as far as I'm concerned.
You got to tell that Vince Carter story. Got to tell that Vince Carter story.
Sure will. As we see the double pump reverse, Vince Carter was the first player that I'd seen actually do a 360 in a game. Like nowadays, you see players do all types of dunk and you kind of take it for granted. So he gets a steal in Houston. Not only does he do a 360, but he turns the opposite way. And I'm just looking at that guy like, wow, what a terrific leaper. And arguably, he's going to be in a conversation of greatest, not only dunk competition dunkers, but game dunkers that this league, that the NBA has seen.
And speaking of, dunkers, Andrew Wiggins did a dunk the other night where he tried to put the ball under his 2 thighs, like as if he was sitting down, and almost made it. You talk about exceptional athletic ability. That young man possesses it.
How about that from Casey Hill, who's headed to the University of Florida, the 6'1" point guard, gets up for the dunk.
Got a chance to speak to both his mom and dad, and Casey Hill is first-class individual, yes, sir, no, sir. And he's just hungry. He understands that he's going to have a very influential role next year on the Gators team. Scotty Wilbekin will still be there. They can help share the load in the backcourt.
Andrew Harrison buries the 3.
Harrison for 3.
I just like to see the progression of the game. Multiple players with multiple skills knocking down threes.
Wiggins offensive rebound, and he goes right to the rim, and that was getting past Jabari Parker to the rim for Andrew Wiggins.
We got to move that trampoline out of the lane. This guy jumped like a pogo stick.
I'm telling you, he doesn't waste moves. He doesn't waste movement. I mean, that was an NBA-like move. You catch the ball, you rip through, you go.
And then Parker comes back to draw a foul on Andrew Wiggins as they continue to go one-on-one.
22, Andrew Wiggins, his second.
He's made that look easy.
Terrific balance, great move, good drive, emphatic finish.
Wiggins is originally from Ontario. Mom Marita is from Canada, playing his high school basketball in Huntington, West Virginia at Huntington Prep. Parker misses again, so Jabari Parker in the first half, 1 for 8 shooting, only 2 points. Randall off the alley-oop. Foul on the other end after Julius Randle with the reverse dunk on the oop.
See, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. The reverse dunk on the oop, though, I mean, to catch the ball while your body is turning in the air.
What do you think? Is that where the boom shakalaka?
If you want to say it.
I know the older you get, sometimes the longer the walk was to school. But these athletic plays that we're seeing from these young players can't be overlooked. As you mentioned, that was a lob reverse dunk with 2 hands. Very impressive.
Off the feed from Casey Hill. So Casey Hill is going to be a Florida Gator. And Julius Randle committed to Kentucky. Paul Biancardi, I like this comparison, compares Julius Randle, his game, to the late great Wayman Tisdale. Wow. And the athleticism and all the things that Julius Randle can do.
I know one thing he's not going to be able to do like the late great Wayman Tisdale.
Play the funk.
Make that music. His CD rebound was classic.
The West All-Stars with a 56-44 lead. Aaron Gordon, 14 points to lead the West team to the edge. He leads all scorers in the game. We will take a closer look at Jabari Parker when we come back to the McDonald's High School All-American game.
That was a big day.
Oh, no kidding.
Hey, Nelson. Whoa, you look smaller.
Yeah, really small.
Did you lose weight or something?
Yeah. mistake.
You look so tiny in there.
It's true.
What?
Don't.
We're okay.
For a limited time, own a 2013 Jetta from $98 bi-weekly for 84 months with 0 down payment.
Volkswagen, das Auto.
This isn't just a maple tree. It's a Canadian legend. Its leaf flies on our flag. It stirs our soul. And its character has inspired a smooth new flavor just as legendary. Introducing Crown Royal Maple. Whiskey started, maple finished.
1 large Crown Crust.
My word. I must tweet my brother about this. Hashtag lie. At Walter.
The new Crown Crust from Pizza Hut with meatballs and creamy cheesy gems baked right into the crust. Pizza Hut, make it great.
I wish we could pay off our mortgage faster.
That makes 2 of us.
You came to the right place. With a new payment schedule and a fixed rate, you'll be mortgage-free faster. It means you'll save money, too.
That's good.
I wish we were in Jamaica.
Hi. Make paying off your mortgage happen. Borrow smarter and be mortgage-free faster with a low-rate mortgage. BMO Bank of Montreal. Making money makes sense.
Before Bob Larson headed out to the cottage, and Pam's check engine light came on, and when Phil Taylor's brakes started squeaking, they all came to Midas. Never trust a car that hasn't been trusted to Midas. Save on brakes, tires, maintenance, and total car care. Get an oil change including a free tire rotation, visual brake check, and more for $29. You deserve the Midas touch.
Stop talking behind people's backs.
We're completely out of our element.
Don't make it out to be something it's not.
I didn't come here for drama.
Too much drama in this.
Then there's one person who has drama every day.
Damn, cock your fist at me.
It's over.
Got to pack my things and go.
You are causing drama.
Don't you guys want the job?
That was so unprofessional.
And I'm not going to take that.
New Fructis Fruit Sensation. Hair shines with a new strength. It's addictive.
In Chicago, it's halftime of the 36th annual McDonald's All-American Game. This year's Morgan Wooten National Player of the Year is Chicago's own Jabari Parker. We now take a closer look.
My very first basketball memory is when I was about 6 years old, just running around in the gym during my dad's summer league, and that stays in my mind, and everybody around me just remember me being in the way during half times. The first moment where I thought I'll be able to be good was, I think, in the sophomore year, because I started taking it serious. I found out that winning was fun, and I loved it. I think I'm pretty competitive, but I don't get to the point where I'm a sore loser. I always give praise to the other team because they were better than us at that time. Behind those pictures, I think I was 7th grade. That was during the Round Ball Classic, and my mom went to go see LeBron. And I was like, Mom, please don't ask this man to take this picture for me. It's kind of upset. You can see my facial expression, but I'm glad to this day that I had somebody to look up to, and he was kind enough out of his heart to take a picture with some fat kid in the 2nd grade. Being a McDonald's All-American is big time for me because you have to be in this game in order to get recognition if you want to be good in your area, and it's something that they can't take from you. Being a McDonald's All-American in high school is a big accomplishment. Well, during last year's game, I was fortunate enough to get a chance, get a glimpse of how things are ran through the whole organization, and how the guys have so much fun playing in a big atmosphere. Visiting the McDonald's, Ronald McDonald House, it was kind of emotional, but fun at the same time because I just wanted to spread my joy, my love for them, and to put a smile on their face for what they're going through. Well, my goal Wednesday night is, of course, to get the victory. I just want to do it for my city, do it for my team. At the UC, where Derrick Rose, a guy I really look up to play on his floor, his ground, it would be real fun.
And when we come back, we'll have more on the McDonald's All-Americans visit to the Ronald McDonald House here in Chicago.
Did you guys hear about Little Caesars? They have pepperoni pizzas for just $5.55. Hot and ready to go.
Pepperoni pizza, please.
Get a medium pepperoni pizza for just $5.55. Hot and ready every day at Little Caesars.
Hot and ready. Chances are, by 35, you've tortured your face with 940 hours of windburn, 7,017 pokes, 1 glass door, 63 months of baking sun, 4,021 close shaves, 599 repairs, 52 snowballs, and 3 deserved slaps. End the face torture. Use new Dove Men Plus Care Face Lotion. The non-greasy formula hydrates skin to help keep it looking good. Take better care of your face with new Dove Men Plus Care.
This isn't just a maple tree. It's a Canadian legend. Its leaf flies on our flag. It stirs our soul. And its character has inspired a smooth new flavor just as legendary. Introducing Crown Royal Maple. Whiskey started, maple finished.
Now that we're retired, we don't have time for stuff like laundry.
We're too busy having fun.
We get everything perfectly clean by tossing one of these in the wash, and that's it.
I wanted to do that.
Oh, come on.
That's my favorite part.
Really? That's our tide. What's yours?
Let's go arrest somebody.
CTV tomorrow.
We just went from manslaughter to murder.
Motive is the show.
You tell me what I want to know, then we'll talk about your deal.
With a unique twist on crime drama.
You think I should back up?
No.
I promise you we're exhausting every angle. If there's any blowback, I'll take the heat. Anything you want to tell us?
You'll only have one question.
Why?
CTV's Motive. Tomorrow at 10, 9 Central.
In Chicago, welcome back to the 36th McDonald's High School All-American game. We've reached halftime. The boys got to see firsthand what this week's games are all about on Sunday with a trip to the brand new Ronald McDonald House. The 86-room facility is the largest of its kind, providing a home away from home for families with loved ones at the nearby Lurie Children's Hospital. They enjoyed an Easter brunch with the kids and helped them make cookies to share with their families. Everyone walked away with new friends and a new appreciation of how Ronald McDonald House Charities can help.
We're joined by J.C. Gonzalez, president of Ronald McDonald House Charities. What is the relationship between the McDonald's All-American and Ronald McDonald House Charities?
Since 1978, more than $10 million has been raised charities and its local charities generating American games. Generous individuals and corporate donors, just like McDonald's, are fundamental to the fulfillment of our McDonald House Charities growth to better serve families and children. McDonald House.
How do Ronald McDonald Houses help families?
See, Ronald McDonald is a home away from home. And the program helping children heal faster and cope better. We know that children heal better when families are together.
Thank you, JC.
Thank you, Quint.
More from Chicago in the McDonald's High School All-American game.
TSN2 has your hoops fixed covered every Thursday.
Get that big stuff out of here.
We've got the biggest names.
Bring it on, baby.
Biggest games.
All the threes are flowing like tap water.
Plus Shaq, the Jet, and Sir Charles at halftime. The NBA on TSN2. Bulls, Nets, Spurs, Thunder. Tomorrow starting at 7.
Head & Shoulders and Old Spice are now together in one bottle, so you can fight flakes while smelling handsome. Is this the way you guys always record sound?
Yes, it is.
Head & Shoulders with Old Spice.
KFC presents Eat Out Loud. Introducing KFC's new Big Crunch Tower. We've taken our Big Crunch sandwich to a new level by adding a crispy potato. It's the sandwich like you've never heard it before. KFC, so good.
As a bartender, I know my vodkas. And my choice when I sit on the other side of the bar is Kettle One. Inspired by over 300 years of tradition. Kettle One vodka, the one to know.
Our job is to make all athletes better. One great innovation at a time. I will.
Is this an 07 or an 09?
Wait, what?
I've been thinking about buying one just like this. Is it good on gas?
Yeah? Why don't you just use Auto Trader?
I wonder reviews. There's thousands of them.
Yeah.
It's got a 4.5-star rating.
Pop the hood. Is that your dad?
Yeah.
Autotrader.ca, the better way to buy and sell cars.
When I was walking up to the green and this nice ovation and being very loud and to dead silence. You can't believe that many people can be that quiet.
When you have that one putt to really make the most of all your childhood dreams, I mean, it's a huge moment.
If you miss it, tournament's over.
That putt on 18, people have no idea.
I said to myself that this tournament's not ending here. I was going to whittle that ball in the hole.
4 days in April, the Mike Weir story. Wednesday, April 10th on TSN.
56-44, the West All-Stars lead the East All-Stars. This 2013 McDonald's High School All-American game is part of the terrific month ahead of ESPN High School basketball, including the National High School Invitational with 3 players who are in this McDonald's game. Thursday, noon Eastern on ESPNU. National Signing Day Special on the 11th, the Jordan Brand Classic, and the Nike Hoop Summit, all coming up on the ESPN networks. Let's take a listen to our recording artist Trevor Jackson performing his single, Like We Grown.
I'ma pick you up and we gon' ride like we grown tonight. With the roof lit back, hands up, girl, we on. Yeah. Your body's giving me the vibe I'm speaking. Oh yeah. I wanna tear the night up, so start it out. Take you where you ain't down. Do something crazy you never done before. I'll start it up. We ain't gotta go home. Let's stay up all night like we grown tonight. I'ma pick you up and we gon' ride like we grown tonight. With the roof lit back, hands up, girl, we on. Hey, hands up, girl, we on. And we can do this all night, just like we grown. Oh, I just wanna love you. Hey, my hand feels right. No pressure on my baby.
Marjorie, I can't stand you. Even the inside of your dishwasher sparkles.
Oh, whoa!
Kitchen counselor.
See, new Cascade Platinum is unlike finished gel. It not only cleans your dishes, it helps keep your dishwasher sparkling. New Cascade Platinum.
Introducing the Scion FRS. Scion, what moves you?
At Enterprise Rent-A-Car, we love weekends. And we're making it easy to get away with our $9.99 weekend specials. Get a great weekend car at a great weekend price.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
See life in the best light, outdoors or in. Transitions lenses automatically filter just the right amount of light so you see everything the way it's meant to be seen. Maybe even a little better. Experience life well lit. Ask for Transitions adaptive lenses.
Insist that your Transitions lenses come with a certificate of authenticity. Visit us online to see how your next eyeglasses could be free and how you could win your eyeglasses with Transitions lenses for life.
I'm doing it. I'm digging it.
I'm bringing it. We're feeling it.
I'm living it up.
I'm lighting it up. Woo! I'm burning it up. And I'm loving it, baby!
Can a simple bracelet actually turn your life around? Yes, we're positive. Q-Ray. Q the positive. Q-Ray bracelets are available at wellness clinics, sporting goods stores, and fine jewelers everywhere.
This month, see Discovery Science in a new light.
Woo! We're going to push those limits.
This is the moment of truth.
Let's do this.
Question everything. It's just mind-blowing.
Instruction manuals for human evolution. Even aliens have to obey the laws of physics.
Discovery Science.
The quicker you're here, the faster you go. That's why where I come from, the only thing we know is hard, play hard, work hard, play hard, work. The quicker you're here, the faster you go. That's why where I come from, the only thing we know is hard, play hard, work hard, play hard,
Just some of the highlights from the first half of the 2013 McDonald's High School All-American game here in Chicago, Illinois at the United Center. Aaron Gordon with 14 first-half points to lead the way for the West All-Stars. Carter Blackburn with Jalen Rose, Jay Williams, Quint Kesnick with us as well. So, Jalen, I guess you go first, and who impressed you in the first half?
Has to be Aaron Gordon. His size, his versatility, ability to handle the basketball, play facing up, finish over the top. I know he took it through his legs and he missed a fancy dunk, but he tried that dunk. That shows the kind of athleticism that he has. He's really going to be an impact player for Arizona.
I know Gordon can dunk, but I have to be real. There really wasn't anybody that impressed me in the first half. I mean, I think I look forward to the second half because that's when the game slows down. Dig in defensively. And we're going to find out a lot about these players in the second half. The game's going to slow down. You're going to find out who they really are.
And also for the East, so you're down 12. You only shoot 39% from the floor, 1 for 10 from 3. Continue to drive the basketball to the basket like I talked about earlier. Try to create a rhythm.
And look, I'm not going to say I wasn't impressed with guys, their versatility, or, Aaron Gordon, his ability to dribble the ball off the floor, make a jump shot. All these guys are versatile. All these guys are elite. They wouldn't be elite if they weren't in this game. You know what I mean? So I'm looking for that guy who's going to do something different, who's going to take it to another level right now.
Andrew Wiggins, 12 points for the #1 player.
6 free throws.
But getting to the line, he's also put 3 fouls on Jabari Parker. Jabari Parker, number 2 in the class, the Wooden Award winner. He's got 3 fouls and only 1 for 8 shooting. That's Andrew Wiggins on the bench. That's Jabari Parker, Chicago's own, both on the bench to begin the second half. So a run of the second-line guys in the McDonald's High School All-America game.
I guess it's no surprise that none of these players are committed to Rutgers.
Oh, wow. You're going to bring up that topic.
I have to bring up Mr. Mike Rice's name, just for the sake of mentioning it.
And were you in agreement with the decision, the reconsideration to fire Mike Rice?
Here's my issue. The president comes out and says, after reviewing the video myself, you didn't review it earlier in the year when he got a 3-game suspension? How about the AD who gave him a 3-game suspension? Really? After watching that footage, if the first thing isn't to fire him, I don't understand what ethics you're trying to get accomplished as a university. So it was handled from the top down incorrectly, in my opinion.
I'll say this too, Jay. I'm shocked that one of these players didn't go off and swing at him and try to fight him. I mean, when a guy, I understand coaches, look, coaches sometimes they get lost in the passion of the game, and I've had a coach say some crazy things, or a coach, they grab you by the collar. But when you start throwing a ball at my face or throwing a ball at my body, I mean, that's stuff that you used to do back in the day in a playground where you're going to end up fighting somebody.
And it's high-level basketball. It's a billion-dollar industry. We know that there's going to be a lot of push. There's going to be a lot of pull to get the maximum out of these young men. But physical, mental, emotional abuse, you don't sign up for that. And Jay, a lot of times you allow it to happen, unfortunately, because you're on scholarship. It's like your job, and you have a boss that you really don't get along with, and he has certain ways that you don't like, but you want to keep your job.
And Jay, think about this. If the player does go off and hit somebody, that's the story. That's the story, that the player went off Latrell Sprewell style on a coach.
Especially if there's no film.
I just like to be on record saying I love my boss and get along great with
We all love Mickey Mouse. Don't get it twisted.
Carter Blackburn, Jalen Rose, Jay Williams, and Quint Kesnick back from the United Center. And we see Noah Vonleh head to the free throw line. Number 8 in the class. He is committed to Indiana. He chose Indiana over Syracuse.
And I got a thing out there for all these people that are hating on Tom Crean. Do not hate on Tom Crean. And 3 years ago, they won 4 Big Ten games. 4. They won 12 games overall. Last year, they beat the likes of Kentucky. They beat Ohio State. They beat Michigan State. They had a great year. This year was a great year, even though they did not win the title. I get that's the overall goal. I mean, but this team has raised up through a ton of adversity over the past 3 years.
Decision still yet to be made for Cody Zeller and Victor Oladipo.
Yep.
This is Anthony Barber bringing it up for NC State, and there is new room in the NC State backcourt for Anthony Barber.
Rodney Purvis decides to transfer. He leaves. Scott Wood, who's one of the all-time best shooters in the ACC, he graduates along with Richard Howe down low, who's a double-double guy. C.J. Leslie leaves for the NBA. Lorenzo Brown, another point guard, leaves for the NBA. Rumors of Tyler Lewis transferring.
It was McDonald's All-American last year.
They're going to lose 79% of their offense, as you mentioned, Jay. For an NC State team that underachieved this year, started this year in the top 5 preseason. I think the Miami Hurricanes ended up having the season that we felt like NC State was going to have. Good hustle, way to get down on the floor.
How about that? And Jay, you brought up that point before. How many good teams do we have in college basketball where they don't have a McDonald's All-American on their team? Miami was one of them with Shane Larkin and Durant Scott and these guys. I mean, Michigan, your team is another.
When you're a McDonald's All-American again, there's a bullseye. A lot of players that are watching this game right now that want to be here, look at Russ Smith. He's in the Final Four. Look at the entire starting 5 for the University of Michigan. Trey Burke is probably going to be the player of the year. Tim Hardaway Jr. Last year, Mitch McGary, Stauskas, Dwayne Robinson III, they were not in this game. So you got to keep working, keep building.
Michigan plays Syracuse in Atlanta on Saturday.
Yeah, I heard. It's a pretty big game, right?
I have my orange blazer all ready to go. I will be there on Saturday.
Hail to the victors.
Nigel Williams-Goss dumps it off, and Jarrell Martin, who's headed to LSU, finishes.
Hey, this is where the game needs to slow down. This is where Kennedy Meeks, who's going to North Carolina, who's 6'10", 6'11", 275 pounds, instead of roaming around on the perimeter, he needs to go right down to the block and demand the basketball. He is a beast down low. With that size, there's nobody that can push him off the block.
Out to Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, who is headed to Arizona, along with Aaron Gordon, who committed yesterday. So Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, Chester, PA, lineage of Tyreek Evans, Jameer Nelson, Bo Ryan, all from Chester, PA, outside of Philly.
And you have to love the creativity of this kid. We got a chance to watch him the other day in the slam dunk contest, and he just has a great personality. He's very energetic. He's active defensively. You look at that wingspan, that's so long, he can really deter a lot of shots on the perimeter.
He's going to come in and demand minutes immediately. I mean, he's going to be a versatile player that can play a couple of positions defensively, handle the ball, score facing up, and look, picking up full court.
I mean, he's guarding other team's point guard. Look at that lateral quickness on the perimeter. That's impressive.
I like that effort. He's played more defense in one possession than I played in 20 years. And I'm talking about 4 in high school, 3 in college.
There's some people at the United Center nodding their head right now, Jalen. I don't know why they...
I don't know if anybody in this game got up as many shots as you got up.
Here's Jarrell Martin to the free throw line. Martin, who is from Baton Rouge, will go to LSU. Didn't play high school basketball until last year. Played AAU, but because of a transfer, he sat out a year and didn't play organized high school basketball until his junior season. 2 years, and now he's a McDonald's All-American playing for the hometown Tigers.
So you look at his frame. As LSU, they're going to return Johnny O'Brien as well as Anthony Hickey. Big frame, good feet. Now you got to use that on the defensive end as well. A lot of times you see a lot of players who are very athletic, but when it's to score, good and one down low. But you got to use that athleticism in all phases of the game.
That's Isaiah Hicks finishing. He is headed to North Carolina. He was the North Carolina Player of the Year, Webb High School in Oxford.
I remember we had this conversation last year, Carter. Everybody thought from North Carolina that James Michael McAdoo was going to leave. And if he had left last year, Jay Rose, he would have been a top 5 pick in the draft. Now when you look at all these mock drafts, they have him slated between 20 to 25. So, will he leave now? I mean, that's the question. Or will you wait another year where the level of expectation increases drastically?
Good offense, good defense. As you see the rejection, ball out of bounds.
Nigel Williams-Goss gets the block. 65-52. West All-Stars still on top.
Now that we're retired, we don't have time for stuff like laundry. We're perfectly clean by tossing one of these in the wash, and that's it.
I wanted to do that.
Oh, come on.
That's my favorite part.
Really? That's our Tide. What's yours?
Ah, someone read my post about that new bakery place, right?
No.
Oh, wow. Yeah, hold it up. Show me a little more chicken, a little less face.
Oh.
So have to tweet it.
Or we could eat it.
Flatbread grilled chicken from Wendy's. Warm grilled seasoned chicken and 2 bold new tastes. Food worth talking. And we're open late.
This isn't just a maple tree. It's a Canadian legend. Its leaf flies on our flag. It stirs our soul. And its character has inspired a smooth new flavor just as legendary. Introducing Crown Royal Maple. Whiskey started, maple finished.
It's hard to meet that special someone these days. Those online dating sites are computer matches you with a bunch of pictures. But then I discovered LifeMates, and it changed our lives.
I had the same problems. I tried online dating for over a year, and it wasn't for me. I was looking for someone I can trust, someone real. LifeMates met with me in person. I told them what I was looking for, and they did the rest.
LifeMates gave me what I couldn't find on my own.
Each other.
Call or visit us online today. You have nothing to lose and a LifeMate to gain.
The best way to reach your goal tomorrow is to start today. Hydrate, refuel. Ideal mix of what your body needs to help make today. Recharge.
Final Four, Saturday beginning at 6 on TSN2.
Tremendous legacy. LeBron James, a McDonald's All-American in 2003. Those lucky youngsters have some good seats. And a cool dad. Let's check in with Quint Kesting.
We're joined by Douglas Freeland. He's the director of the McDonald's All-American Game. Our host this week. You guys announced some significant news. Tell the fans at home about it.
Well, we've announced that we're going to continue on with ESPN for the next 3 years. We're very happy about that. And then, as you know, the games will be in Chicago and through 2015 with an option for 2016. I think Chicago wants us to keep the games here based on the great turnout again tonight.
Like every year, you've had the opportunity to watch these student-athletes in practice all week and then tonight. What's been most impressive?
Well, Aaron Gordon is impressive, both from a character standpoint, and he's obviously a great athlete, a really fun, exuberant kid. Jabari Parker, he hasn't had a great game yet tonight, but you can see how he impacts the game with defense, block shot, the way he handles the ball. And then Julius Randle is a load under that basket. So I'm very impressed with those 3 guys.
What do you hope they walk away and they take away with them down the road?
Well, I hope they take away, they had the experience at the Ronald McDonald House on Sunday, and hopefully they'll take away the fact that they've got this marvelous talent, but they also need to continue to give back to those who are less fortunate.
Thank you, Douglas. Look forward to coming back to Chicago.
Thank you.
And on the floor right now, Andrew Wiggins and Jabari Parker, both on the floor again. The number 1 and 2 players, that's Jabari Parker from Chicago in the mostly gray uniform. Andrew Wiggins, the number 1 recruit, is yet to commit, both wearing 22. That 3 rattles in the corner for Hamilton. That's Isaac Hamilton, younger brother of Jordan, who went to Texas, now with the Denver Nuggets. Isaac Hamilton is going to Utah. So, guys, here's Wiggins against Jabari Parker. The numbers tell you Wiggins has gotten the better of the matchup, and he gets the better of that one-on-one.
That's where he's exceptional. When he's not going to be a guy that dances with the ball and takes 40 dribbles. He's going to be a guy to catch, turn, face, make an observation, and then make a move. It's one rip through and go. The more simplified you keep it, the more efficient of a player you are.
Cat quick. He should get to a lot of 50-50 balls.
Only 2 baskets in the game now for Jabari Parker. Yep, 2 shots now, 2 for 10 shooting for Parker. That was Wiggins on Jabari Parker.
And that's a floater off the left foot. I mean, that's off a one-on-one isolation move right here. The spin move and then the float off the left foot. That's a degree of difficulty. It's a 10.
I can tell the competitive spirit is starting to take over. Both of those young men know that they're the 2 top-ranked players in the country, so I look for an exciting finish to this one.
Selden with a nice dish for Casey Hill. Wiggins can't finish. Parker has back-to-back buckets. Here goes Gordon. Finishes this one off. Aaron Gordon.
What a move.
You talk about a guy that could be at the backbone of your defense. I mean, not only can he do that on the offensive end, but I think one of the places that people are overlooking with Aaron Gordon, his ability to block shots. He can erase so many mistakes on the perimeter as a guard. But I got a guy, and this happened to Jay Rosenau when we played here in Chicago. You can put that extra ball pressure on the ball and be confident knowing that you had a guy like Tyson Chandler or knowing that you had a guy like Aaron Gordon back there who can erase those mistakes.
And when you look at his height, he's going to play more probably like a stretch 4. But with certain lineups and matchups, especially defensively, he should be competitive against threes, small lineups, as you mentioned, Jay, even playing some center.
Older brother Drew finished out his career in New Mexico after playing a couple years at UCLA.
Are you talking about after that coach signed a 10-year extension and then went to UCLA? Yes. That guy, Steve Alford?
Yes. And here is Gordon facing up on Julius Randle. Gordon off the dribble, and Randle's going to pick up the foul, sending Gordon to the free throw line. The National High School Invitational continues Friday on ESPN2. Here's the quarterfinal matchups, including some of the guys who are in this game who will be headed on to the National High School Invitational in Bethesda, Maryland. Nigel Williams-Goss among them, who's at Findlay Prep, who's committed to Washington, so those guys will be on a flight. The Saturday final, 1 o'clock Eastern on ESPN, the National High School Invitational.
I have to say this, I'm a huge fan of Nigel Williams-Goss. I mean, just watching him play and practice, understanding who he is, what he does with the community. And he has a 4.0. I mean, he's just first-class individual. Abdul Ghadi is leaving for Washington. He'll be inserted to play right away. Lorenzo Romar got a gem in Nigel.
Count that bucket for Andrew Wiggins on the goaltend. 16 in the game now for Wiggins. He leads all scorers on the east side.
Look how slow that move was, Jay. I mean, just actually slowing down. I don't think a lot of high school kids know how to do that. They play the game at 175 miles an hour. But for him right there in that move, he just slowed himself down and found a wide open lane.
That's a great observation, Jay. Good move by Randle inside. It's called actually being under control on that play.
Randle rips the rebound here. Numbers. Randle's going to take it himself, end-to-end, off the board to the glass.
So I'm saying he's a workhorse. Now look, there was not one red jersey back. Now Julius Randle just scored that ball, and he was the only red jersey that sprinted all the way back. That's the kind of player that John Calipari's going to get this year.
Randle out of McKinney, Texas, Prestonwood Christian Academy, the number 3 rated player in the class, committed to Kentucky. Only 6 McDonald's All-Americans, 4 of the top 11 will be part of Big Blue Nation. Selden finds Jackson, finishes through contact.
So as you see the versatility in the backcourt of Selden, banks in the 3 using his ATM card, gets the rebound, pushes the basketball up, good lead pass for the easy layup.
And a timeout for the West All-Stars, who have seen the East hustle them from end to end to make this a 13-point game. So a timeout. There's your East All-Star head coach. That is Freddie Johnson in his 36th year at Greensboro Country Day. He's won nearly 900 games in his career in Greensboro, North Carolina. Mike Flaherty, 37th season as a high school head coach, now at Mount Carmel High School here in Illinois.
It's a terrific honor to coach this game. Influencing young men, as you mentioned, 37, 39 years. It tells a lot about your character, your commitment to not only making them better on the floor, but off the floor.
And how about one of the best coaches of all time that we honored last night at the banquet in Morgan Wooten? Nobody's really talking about. Over 1,200 wins, the winningest coach of all time.
At DeMatha Catholic in Maryland, and the Player of the Year honor that's given out here, the McDonald's All-American game, both the boys and girls. Morgan Wooten Award. Taya Reimer, who was headed to Notre Dame, wins it on the girls' side. How about Selden with a crossover?
I saw it coming. That's why he went solo with the crossover dribble, knocks down the jump shot. Selden, that was a heat check.
He's heating up.
NBA jams?
Yes. Jackson drops it off, and here's a run-out opportunity. Foul called on Wiggins to slow down Jarrell Martin there in the open floor, sending us to an official timeout. Back and forth in the McDonald's High School All-American game in Chicago.
Only Virgin Mobile members get exclusive access and deals with our awesome partners. Are you missing out? Virgin Mobile. It's better to be a member.
To many men, shaving can be a sensitive issue. But take comfort. It may not be you. It may be your razor. Upgrade to Gillette Fusion Pro Glide. Our micro-thin blades are thinner than a surgeon's scalpel to put less stress on your skin by gliding through hair. Switch to Fusion Pro Glide. Dermatologist recommended on sensitive skin. And now, introducing new Fusion Pro Glide Sensitive Shave Gel. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Kevin Durant was a McDonald's All-American in 2006. 1 year at the University of Texas, now starring for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The West All-Stars, an 81-68 lead here, led by ESPN News National Signing Day special on Thursday, April 11. Latest class rankings. Start preparing for the 2013-2014 season, April 11th at 6 Eastern on ESPNU. And the biggest question left is, where will Andrew Wiggins be signing? Undeclared Florida State, Kansas, Kentucky, and North Carolina, all still on Andrew Wiggins' list. Wiggins in this game, 16 points, most among the East All-Stars.
And a game changer. This kind of player coming to your university is the difference between watching the NCAA tournament and possibly playing in the Final Four. He's that good.
Look, I get the whole argument that the NBA implement this whole rule for guys to go to school for 1 year mandatory. But Andrew Wiggins, if he were to leave this year, he would be number one pick in the draft. So I look at that, I'm like, all right, there has to be some kind of change with this whole thing. Either let a kid go to the NBA straight out of high school, or if you want to talk about what's doing better for the collegiate game, maybe make a kid stay in school 2 years, so maybe they get something a little bit more out of it. Essentially, all these kids have to do next year is go to school their first semester, and then they can tank the second semester and just play. They're not really learning anything or taking anything away from that.
And that makes a mockery of the rule. And we live in a country that after high school, you can go work on Wall Street. You can go to war for our country, so you should be able to enter the NBA draft. Now, if you go to college, to Jay's point, to me, you should have to stay 2 years. It's okay to walk around campus with a backpack and actually go to a couple of classes and learn something. Now, if you've gone 2 years, you're invested. So even if you leave early, you're thinking, wow, I went for 2 years, 2 more years, I could be done.
And here's the thing, Jay, I don't understand why a lot of these kids don't think that way, right? All these guys here, they want to be millionaires, right? They want to be the CEO. Now, look, we all make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes.
Everyone in this building wants to be a millionaire.
We get that. But if you do go to school, take some business classes. Take some classes where you're like, oh, you know what? I am going to be a top lottery pick one day. Hey, let me understand how to be my own CEO. Let me prepare for what I'm about to walk into.
And the work ethic that you have on the floor and on the track and in the weight room, Jay, you're talking about exercising that same effort in the classroom.
And you know what John Calipari, the coach who's most associated with success with one-and-done players, and certainly with the one-and-done era, says, look, if you take it to 2 years and you have incentives like insurance paid for by the NCAA, by the school in that second year, now you have 2 summers that you can not only work on your game, you work on your academics. So after 2 years, 2 full years on college campus, you can be very close to earning your degree after 2 years.
Well, you talk about incentive. Let's even take it to a different degree. How about the university and the NCAA actually share all that money that's being made? How about you incentivize a player by saying, hey, listen, if you stay in school and you graduate with a C+ GPA, you know, we'll put money in escrow for you that accumulates, it grows a certain amount each and every year that you're able to receive after you graduate. Maybe that's a good way to incentivize. These coaches are getting multi-million-dollar contracts. The NCAA is selling the tournament for tens of billions of dollars. Why not share it all the way around?
I think you're hearing more and more coaches speak up about that as well, recognizing and feeling responsible for that situation as well.
I'll tell you why. We heard a little bit about it when Kansas was playing this year and the McLemore story came up. You're in practice, you're not going hard one day, a couple of turnovers, and all of a sudden the coach comes to you and says, what's wrong with you today? How about the fact that my mother lights is about to get cut off? How about the fact that I'm having family issues that I need to deal with? But you know that your coach is making millions of dollars. So that creates an interesting dichotomy in that relationship because in theory, your sweat equity is how he eats, but you're not getting that direct benefit.
And you are getting education, I hear that, but it gives you a different perspective when you walk into a gym and you see hundreds of people with your jersey on. That's your number. That's your number that the university is profiting off of.
Walker is
back to the game. Back to the game before we go on our whole Stephen A. Smith soliloquies over here.
Stephen A. judged the dunk contest the other night. Bo Jackson was there as well. Good finish, running to the rim. That's James Young, who will be a Kentucky Wildcat next year as well, from Rochester Hills, Michigan.
I just want to know how John Calipari does it. I mean, each and every year, these kids are begging to go to Kentucky. And we knew that Ryan Harrell was a talented player, but not of the ilk of point guards there. You get the Harrison twins, you get Julius Randle, you get Marcus Lee, you get James Young, you could potentially get Andrew Wiggins. I mean, it just continues to get better and better each and every year. And these are the kind of kids that can move the needle, Jay. These are the kind of kids that want to compete and win games.
And what a terrific honor to play in this game. The top players in the United States of America. And I was fortunate enough in high school to play for a legendary coach in Perry Watson. And this was before social media and whatnot. So he had so many players getting letters and going D1 that he would actually keep our letters until our junior year. And then you get a chance to really soak in the fact that I have all of these schools writing letters and recruiting me. And I can't lie. When I got my box, I took them home, laid them on the floor, and did snow angels in them because I was that pumped.
I got a chance to talk to Jarrett Howard today. He's an assistant coach for SMU, and they're so excited about Mr. Frazier, the first McDonald's All-American ever to attend SMU, and Larry Brown is happy. This young man not only has the ability to score from anywhere on the floor, you look at his wingspan, you look at his height, look at his length, he also has the ability to be a lockdown defender. I think things are going to be changing at SMU, even though they struggled this year in Conference USA.
We talked about Keith Frazier, talked to him the other day and asked about the McDonald's High School All-American, beaming, smiling, so broadly saying, I am just so happy to be here, almost getting emotional just about the thought that he was a McDonald's All-American.
I mean, it means so much.
Go ahead, Jay. Go ahead.
This is the ultimate honor for a high school basketball player.
There's a timeout on the floor.
Keith Frazier is headed to SMU. We'll break down the rest of the McDonald's All-Americans and how they will be impacting their teams when we come back.
Does Zero Water remove a little red wine from water, it removes virtually all dissolved solids. Because conventional filters like Brita only have 1 or 2 stages, and Zero Water has 5. Now available at major retailers.
Gerald!
Hey, Hey, Patrick.
Hey, I think you sold me the wrong Jetta.
What?
I'll show you. Did you see that? Did you see that?
I did.
Did you hear that? Yeah. Do you feel that? Yeah. See? It's not a hybrid.
Actually, it's a Jetta turbocharged hybrid. Volkswagen, das Auto.
Can't miss NBA Countdown at 7 Eastern. I'll be there.
Alonzo Mourning, before he was a Georgetown Hoya. Miami Heat was a 1988 McDonald's All-American. He could run the floor, too. Alonzo was with our Quinn Kessner.
Alonzo, we just showed some highlights of this game in 1988. What's your prime memory of playing in this ball game?
You know, that was a long time ago. I'm surprised you still have highlights of it. But my primary memory is just the athleticism and what this class is displaying right now. The extreme athletics, and guys are playing above the rim. And we had a great deal of talent back then with Billy Owens and Sean Kemp and Christian Laettner, you know. So we had an amazing crop of guys. And also the Ronald McDonald House visit, you know, that was a very memorable moment for me as well.
You got an opportunity to talk to both teams this week. What'd you say to these kids?
Well, their basketball is temporary, and they got to start preparing right now for life after the game, and most importantly, they need to not underestimate and value their education. All of them are going to major colleges and different universities, and they need to understand that, you know, they need to start preparing themselves right now for life after the game.
What was the biggest obstacle when you were in their shoes that you faced going from high school to college?
Well, I mean, your overall development, you know, as a player, but also understanding the responsibility and accountability, surrounding yourself with the right people, which a lot of these kids have people around them with hidden agendas and really don't have their best interest in. But the most important thing is they surround themselves with all the right individuals that help them take you know, the right steps forward and throughout their careers.
Alonzo, thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Carter.
Well, Alonzo's message, basketball is temporary. I'd like to hear from both you, Jay Williams and Jalen Rose, what your message would be to these McDonald's All-Americans.
I like the advice that Zoe gave. I'm fortunate enough that mass communications, that was my major in college, and I guess I'm one of the fortunate people in our country that actually works in his major, and I'm able to put that to work. And the key, like Zoe said, is there is life after basketball. So if you're fortunate enough to play a decade, you're still in your 30s. So what are you going to do with the rest of your life, the important parts of your life? So that's very good advice by Zoe. And I think a lot of these mature young men are ready to handle that challenge.
You know, I wasn't fortunate enough to have a 10-year NBA career. So for me, I had to start the journey a lot earlier at the age of 22 years old. But you heard Stephen A. Smith talk about the game last night. And I think a lot of these kids initially thought he was talking about the basketball game, but he's talking about the game of life. You know, you are going to a university where there are going to be millions of dollars made around you. Well, take that time to leverage that platform. Take that time to meet all the top CEOs that graduated from your school. Build a relationship with them. Send them a letter. Invite them to a game. Ask them to go to lunch. These are relationships that you can make instead of setting your limits so low by saying, oh, I want to be a guy to make $70 million if you're fortunate enough to be in it. And that's a great thing. But try to be that guy, you know what? To be a guy who makes $500 million. I want to align myself with the certain people that can help me get there and make your camp that takes you to a different level instead of that camp that has nowhere else to go but bring you down.
And you're talking about striking the iron when it's hot, because once you retire, the people that was picking up the phone, they're sending you the voicemail when you're done.
Meanwhile, the East All-Stars are having a little bit of a rally to get back within 11. That is Keith Frazier, who was headed to SMU to play for Larry Brown, made his decision yesterday. Frazier gets to the rim, and then Isaiah Hicks gets the block. And all of a sudden, Frazier and the East All-Stars are getting back in the game. Aaron Harrison on the wing. Aaron Harrison and his twin brother Andrew from Richmond, Texas, in the Houston area are headed to Kentucky. Let's go back to the Frazier bucket.
And that's the body control I'm talking about right there by Frazier, to get into the gap of the defense, not to come in out of control, but come to a jump shot and find a way to finish through the traffic.
With the cinnamon roll finish.
swirl.
Frazier is headed to SMU, meaning that there is one player from the American Athletic Conference in the McDonald's High School All-America game. Run out chance here. It's Demetrius Jackson right to the rim. Jackson, who's headed to Notre Dame.
I'll tell you right now, Demetrius Jackson, Jerry Grant, and Eric Atkins are going to form one dynamic backcourt for Mike Bray. They lose guys like Jay Cooley. It was a force down low, but this backcourt has been everything for them this year.
Woo! Gordon, and a rejection by Isaiah Hicks. 16-5 run, make it an 18-5 run. And we got a basketball game after all at 4 points. Quick response from Aaron Harrison.
When you get a run out, and Jay mentioned this earlier, the last person back across half court has to be your protection on the defensive end. When you get a dunk going one way, you shouldn't give up a dunk going the other way, especially off one pass.
This is what I'm talking about. Look, I love this. I enjoy is when this game is played hard. I know everybody out here wants to see dunks. Best dunks when the game is in. That's why I want this game to turn into the last 4 minutes.
Hamilton finds Gordon. 20 points in the game, 7 dunks for Aaron Gordon, who's headed to Arizona.
You know what I mean, Jay? So, look, if somebody was going for a dunk, I'm not going to try to hurt anybody, but I'm going to try to block your shot. I'm not going to allow you just to dunk on us, especially if we're trying to win this game.
Thursday, the NIT Championship. It's the Baylor Bears from Madison Square Garden. Tomorrow night, 9 Eastern from New York City, the NIT Championship, Iowa versus Baylor. At the United Center, Carter Blackburn, Jalen Rose, Jay Williams, Quint Kesnick for the McDonald's High School All-America game. The conference breakdown. Yes, the SEC gets a big boost from Kentucky, but also Florida, and you have Jarrell Martin, who is headed to LSU.
Pac-12 slowly coming around, too. I know that Dana Altman and Oregon were very disappointed that they couldn't get Aaron Gordon. Oregon had a really good year this year as well. Sean Miller continues to get better and better for Arizona.
Washington, Oregon, Arizona, and Kentucky were on the list for Aaron Gordon. Ended up choosing Arizona yesterday. Gordon gets that rebound. Nigel Williams-Goss, who will play in the Pac-12 with Washington, brings it up. And here's Williams-Goss turning the corner and drawing a foul. Nigel Williams-Goss headed to the free throw line when we come back for the last 3:31. The top plays from tonight's McDonald's High School All-Star game.
It's what your soup wants. So add some Plus, also available in whole wheat and 5 grains.
Hunger getting to you? Try new Ritz Crackerfuls, a tasty snack to help tide you over. Made with cheddar cheese and whole grain. New Ritz Crackerfuls. Get hunger before it gets you.
Anything that I can do, you can do much better. Every time I show you mine, you top mine 1,000 times. That don't mean I'm gonna stop trying to get better. And in the end I won't be blue, 'cause I know I found a friend in you.
The new Toyota RAV4. Let's play.
Marjorie, I can't stand you. Even the inside of your dishwasher sparkles.
Oh, whoa! Kitchen counselor. See, new Cascade Platinum is unlike finished gel. It not only cleans your dishes, it helps keep your... New Cascade Platinum.
In Chicago at the United Center, it's an 8-point lead for the West All-Stars on the East All-Stars. 3:31 to go. We got an 8-point game after all in this 2013 McDonald's High School All-America game. A chance to look back at some of the best plays, most of them dunks.
I think to reference Jalen's point before, the thing that's very impressive about this game is that a lot of these guys are 6'7", 6'8", 6'9", handling the ball, making threes, trying to lock down on the perimeter defensively. The versatility of the game is going in a great direction as players are doing a lot more with that height and that length.
Using that agility, the versatility, the ability to play multiple positions with that size, create plays for yourself as well as one of your teammates.
Guys, we knew about the headliners. Andrew Wiggins, #1 in the class. Jabari Parker, #2. How about some of the other guys who aren't at the very top of the class who you think have impressed you tonight for the college game next year?
Wayne Selton, I really like his pace, down jump shots, get it to teammates, quality passes. I think he's going to be a game changer at Kansas next year.
Aaron Gordon, going to Arizona, I think this young man has a chance to be a very special player. A little bit wary about the guys who are labeled the best from day one. Now at ESPN, we're ranking these kids from the time they're in 8th grade,
from 3rd grade.
You know what I mean? So when you're labeled like that for a long time, I'm not going to say that they're not going to be successful. I hope that everybody here is successful. But sometimes it's those guys who are 19, 20, 25, 30, 35, the guys that you were talking about who have that hunger because they don't get that limelight attention that a lot of these guys are getting.
That's why it's profound to pay attention to the rankings, say after 8th grade. The top 5 players isn't necessarily the top 5 players after 12th grade. And then watch that list when the players go on to college and who continues to improve and get better.
And as you pointed out, Jill, I mean, even a team like Michigan in this year's Final Four, there weren't a lot of guys who were at the very top of their class, talented high school players, but come together, they're a Final Four team.
They start 3 freshmen. None of them were in this game last year. Chose the right school, productive, playing in the Final Four with an opportunity to cut down the nets this month.
Hey guys, can we just stop talking about Michigan, please? I mean, there's a lot of Michigan love going on.
Well, let's talk about Syracuse, Jay.
My team isn't in the Final Four, and I'd rather not talk about it.
My bracket, actually, Jay, and you'd appreciate this, was Michigan versus Duke in the final.
Really?
Because I hope that we could try to get some revenge for the way they put the smack down on us by 20. And I wanted to see Trey Burke come to get revenge, but the boys let me down.
Hey, you know what? When we were talking before about advice, I think another piece of advice that I would try to give these young student athletes is that now, after you have stepped up in this kind of environment, your life really isn't your life anymore. It's the life of the public. Everybody's part of the media. Whether you're going to the ice cream store, the barber shop, you're hanging out with friends, you have to be a lot more conscientious of the moves you make in your life from this point on out.
Oh, Gordon gave it up, got it back, and nearly completed a spectacular dunk. Instead, Selden, a hard foul from Williams-Goss. And Selden does a little acting as well.
And to your point, Jay, you're basically describing that you have to be on. As we see the foul on the break, Selden sells it a little bit, has a little fun for the fans.
Kept on rolling.
You know, that's a fine in the NBA for flopping. Get that out of your system right now, young fella.
Oh, Wayne Selden earns a turn at the free throw line. There, you were talking earlier, guys, about competing. Hey, it's an all-star game. It doesn't matter. It's an all-American game, but you don't want to get dunked on.
And the responsibility of young men playing in this game, your profile is ultimate right now. So you have to always be on and pay attention to what you say, what you do. That includes in person as well as social media, because everybody's watching, everybody's listening, and that can have an effect on your career moving forward.
Hey, what does Herm Edwards say, our guy back at ESPN?
Don't press send.
You write that tweet out, you're thinking about it like, it's probably not the right tweet to send out.
And how about this, and I love Herm, the guy would say don't press send that doesn't use email and doesn't use social media. Picture that.
He's too busy buying socks.
He knows about speaking to the media, that's for sure. Gordon dunks that one down again. Aaron Gordon.
What a pass.
22 now for Gordon.
And Gordon almost like a point forward. I mean, his ability to bring the ball up the court has a little bit of that shake and bake to his game as well.
And Williams-Goss has a very good feel out there on the floor for himself and his teammates.
Williams-Goss keeps it up. Gordon finishes off the alley-oop from Nigel Williams-Goss.
See, you're going to see the emphatic one-handed slam on the all-Arizona hookup, but don't underestimate the fact that he ran the floor as we see Wayne Selden on the other end with the basket, using his size, and he gets the foul.
I just wanted to hear that in real time. That's nasty.
SportsCenter is coming up next, and I think you will see that play again on SportsCenter tonight. Nigel Williams-Goss was headed to Washington for Aaron Gordon. 9 dunks in the game for Aaron Gordon. He is headed to the bench with 24 points, 8 rebounds, and a good week for the Arizona Wildcats.
You know, I think also we have to understand, or the fans have to understand, that this has been like a tornado for these kids over the past 4 days, from having practices, having GMs, guys coming, evaluating them, having the pressure of trying to perform, and also visiting the Ronald McDonald House, having individual workouts. I mean, it just hasn't been all about playing basketball. It's been about the bigger game, which is the game of life here as well.
SportsCenter is next. More down here with the McDonald's High School All-America game. Important to note that the NBA GMs were allowed to watch practice this week. College coaches are not here. Not allowed to be here, but the NBA GMs are.
I'm just glad they're playing some Biggie right now in the United Center. Got me bobbing my head, Joe.
But also, what kind of sense does that make? So the NBA can come and watch the kids practice, but the college coaches can't come watch them practice.
Breaking news.
Backwards to me.
Breaking news. There's some backward things in that rule book.
Oh, the NCAA does things backwards? I would never have thought that.
No, breaking news, like I said. Well, we're going to go ahead and name Aaron Gordon the 2013 John R. Wooden Most Valuable Player of the McDonald's High School All-America game. And it's been quite a week for Aaron Gordon. Came to Chicago uncommitted yesterday, made his decision to Arizona. And today he is the MVP of the McDonald's High School All-America game. And any coincidence that it was Aaron Gordon who was the last guy to leave the floor this morning at the end of shoot-around, asked for extra time to practice, and he was ready to show off his game tonight.
Running the floor, finishing in transition. As you see him using the ball handler with the layup, the double pump, reverse dunk. Again, running the floor, getting rewarded by your teammates.
No, it's been a tough year for Sean Miller and his basketball team, obviously with the way things ended. You know, that last ever-going rant that we had of him at the table saying he touched the ball, he touched the ball, he touched the ball. But Sean Miller has a lot to be happy about in the near future for this basketball team, with Aaron Gordon coming in, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, who plays a little bit like Delvon Rowe, who used to play for Michigan State. And these two young guys are versatile, they're interchangeable, and they're extremely, extremely athletic.
Which college coach is the happiest at the end of tonight?
John Calipari.
All day, every day.
Is that a trick question?
Well, there's a decision to be made that's going to make somebody happier, potentially John Calipari, because remember, Andrew Wiggins hasn't yet made his collegiate decision. But ironic, by the way, in a game that has 6 Kentucky Wildcats, it's Aaron Gordon, who will be an Arizona Wildcat, who's our MVP.
And I like Barber in his quicks. He missed 3 free throws. Now he's going for the 3. I think there's a promotion if he scores 100 points, because the fans seem to be getting into it at this point.
Hey, speaking of that for Kentucky, there's another kid that goes to my high school, St. Joseph's in Metuchen, New Jersey, named Carl Towns, who's going to be another exquisite talent. He's going to be a McDonald's All-American next year, going to Kentucky as well.
Talking about your high school may make me shed a tear, because mine closed down last June.
That's why you started charter school, Jeff. That's why you started charter school.
Yes, free hamburgers on both sides if there's 100 points on both sides. So hence the cheering for the East All-Stars to get 3 more before it's done. But it will be the West All-Stars who win the game. Marcus Lee, one of the 6 future Kentucky Wildcats, who finishes it off. 26 total dunks in the game. Selden's going to try and hit the 3.
Oh, you got to hit the 3.
Hits the rim with a big-time jam to finish it off. And how about one more?
Timeout. Reward the fans.
Hey, Chicago fans will let you know about it, too.
West All-Stars win it, led by Aaron Gordon, who's our MVP with 24 points and 8 rebounds, the future Arizona Wildcat. Coming up next, Sports Center. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For Jay Williams, Jalen Rose, Quint Kestnick, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Carter Blackburn. The West All-Stars win it. Aaron Gordon is the MVP. Sports Center begins right now.
Raptors basketball on TSN2.
DeRozan driving, throws down the hammer.
The Raps are hitting the road for 3. First stop, Minnesota. Raps, Timberwolves.
The highest standard in sports television, including the CBS Sports Network, Showtime Sports, CBSSports.com, and the CBS Sports Radio Network. The best in sports online, on radio, and on the air. CBS Sports. Expect it here.